week, the new Dragon Age movie has just come out. And it's another movie that I've been waiting a while for, although not really with any real expectations, since movies made after video games are kind of hit and miss. There's been a lot of buzz about it and both positive and negative reviews around, so I wasn't really sure what to expect going into it. So let's take a look at Dragon Age: Dawn of the Seeker. Okay, so first, let's talk about the animation and art style. If you saw my video last week, you may remember my saying that the new Berserk film is actually a pretty good example of anime CGI. This is not. Everything just looks weirdly plasticky and the movements are all incredibly awkward. When I heard that there was going to be a CGI Dragon Age movie, I figured that it would look, you know, like the Dragon Age games. And then when I heard that it was going to be animated by a Japanese anime studio, I figured that it, like the cover art, would look something like Advent Children. Instead, we got this. And if the awkward CGI wasn't bad enough, the entire movie is done in such a bland palette. You've got some browns, some grays, and some more grays. The whole thing looks drab and nothing is visually appealing in the slightest. You can kind of get used to it after a bit, I guess, but I never felt fully immersed in the world or the story. And speaking of the story, which I had hoped would be its saving grace, it's kind of really bland and predictable. There's a conspiracy in the Chantry! Them versus mages! These are themes and plot devices which have already been explored in the games, and it would have been nice to see them venture into some newer territory, maybe? But even if you weren't already familiar with the franchise going in, it's still a really forgettable story. I knew the second that the bad guy first appeared on screen that he was the bad guy. Here's a tip. If you want your bad guy to be a big secret inside man and for his reveal to be this big surprising moment, don't make it incredibly obvious from the get-go that he is evil. The dude practically had a big "I am evil" sign on his forehead. And the characters were all so incredibly flat. Cassandra has exactly one personality trait. Angry! Which would be fine if there was, you know, more to her than that. Angry! She hates mages and has to learn over the course of the movie to overcome her prejudice, except that there's absolutely no character development to get her to that point. Oh, one mage helped me. Guess I'm over my lifelong hatred and mistrust. People don't just snap out of prejudice. It takes lots of soul-searching and introspection to be able to overcome something that ingrained in you. To point to a far superior piece of work, Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender is a brilliant, if not the most brilliant, example of how this sort of character development should be fleshed out. And aside from this one thing, we know absolutely nothing about her. Of course, we know absolutely nothing about anyone else either, though, so, you know, it's not like we're supposed to care about these characters or anything. It does have a few redeeming qualities, though. For one thing, the voice actor who played Galleon really sold that character to me, and he might actually be the most interesting part of the entire movie. The action sequence at the very end was fun enough. Unfortunately, it, like all the other action sequences in the whole movie, was rather anticlimactic. All in all, I just really wasn't all that impressed, and I gave this movie a really fair shot. On the battlefield of life, one truth only the strongest survive.
涙をなくすのはそうさ今じゃない Fly to the black and sky to feel so you got to spread your wings 同じ定めにない命はいつか消えるから Rise up into your
Alright, well that was my little video on the new Dragon Age movie Dawn of the Seeker. If you enjoyed it, I would love it if you would like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Please do add me on Facebook or Twitter and give me some more titles to add to my list. Next week